Hello my friends, hello and welcome back to my channel. It is Carrie from Coffee and Crafts, and today we are continuing with our series that we started last episode, Joanna Basford's Lost Ocean. That's right, we are continuing with the fish, and we are also going to continue to use the Derwent watercolor pencils. However, we will be adding A&Art gel pens. This is a cheap set that got really good reviews. We get all these pens for around $20. All right, let's set those off to the side for now. And let's get started. Alright, so you may have noticed that I've been working on this little guy off camera. I couldn't help myself. So what I did is I put another layer of blue on his underbelly, and I also brought in this metallic pool blue number 10 from A&Art, and I decided to make his scales, I guess you would call them, this metallic blue, and I think that looks really pretty and it kind of shimmers. I don't know if you can see that on camera. And I was thinking his underbelly here should be darker, so I decided it should be dark blue. So I picked out this just regular gel pen blue number 7 and applied it, but I had already watercolored it and it's coming out purple. I don't know what happened, but color theory, Carrie. Yeah, I don't know, this blue pencil must have had some red in it, maybe. I'm not sure. But it's coming out purple, but I still like it. I think it looks nice, so we'll add purple as our third color. And so now we need to finish filling in all of these arcs, these scales on his underbelly with a gel pen. So we'll do that now. on this underbelly. I noticed that this pen, this gel pen, it starts out blue, dark blue, and as it dries, it turns kind of a purplish blue. So that's interesting. I've never used gel pens before, but I think they're really cool and I like the shininess of it. So this is super fun. I highly recommend that you add gel pens to your repertoire of art supplies. Now what I'm wondering is if this blue watercolor if the value of the color needs to be brought up some. So I don't want to ruin my my drawing. I have this envelope that I've been using as scratch. What I'm wondering is, let's see, so we're using this dark blue as a watercolor. So we're using this. Kind of medium pressure. Where's our brushes? Let's use this. I'm gonna use this Princeton number 4. Dip my brush and just activate it on here. Yeah, so that's looking like the same as what we have here. That looks pretty close to the same. So we're just experimenting here. I highly recommend that you do swatches before you work on something that you hold dear and precious to your heart. So what I was thinking is I do have this 12 set of Faber-Castell watercolor pencils, and if you don't like primary colors, don't buy a 12 set. I'm kind of regretting it because I really like the secondary colors, the more muted colors is more my style. But nonetheless, this is what we have. So I was wondering if I used this blue, could I bring the value up and have it look halfway decent? So that's dry. So then we would color on top of that. And I know the paper is different, so it won't be exactly the same, but it'll give us an idea. Yeah, I'm thinking we could probably bring the value up. Do we need to? I'm kind of thinking yes, because if this is the underside of the fish, it should be darker. Oh wow, that's pretty. Do you think that's darker? Yeah, I think it's darker, but also brighter is the thing. I don't know. It's brighter. I don't know that I want to go brighter. Is this color? Yeah, that's the light. And nothing else would work for that. I mean, we could also leave it the way it is. We could try doing another layer, maybe on the bottom here. We could try that. Let's try that before we go messing anything up. Let's try going back to our Prussian blue, our Derwent Prussian blue, and we'll bring our water in, and we want to sharpen our pencil. I have this Faber-Castell sharpener handy. Oh, I made a mess. Good thing I didn't do it over my painting. I always open it on the wrong side, which is why I switched to the other one, but this one is handy, so. Okay, that's much better, nice and sharp. I'll have to get rid of that mess. I did get a tiny bit on there. All right, I gotta wash my, I want to be careful that I don't smudge my drawing. So let's clean this up. I'm gonna go wash my hands and I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. I've got you zoomed in here. Hopefully you're in screen. So what I'm thinking is not so much fading inside each section, but having these bottom sections a bit darker. So let's go ahead and do I could just color it in, not actually watercolor. So we're doing a flat color, street coloring, or flat coloring, so not shading. We're shading per piece, basically, if that makes sense. And I don't even really need to watercolor. I could maybe use my blender. Use a blender to blend that in. And then that will give it some dimension, feel that it's round. So let's go ahead and do this one. And I'm still learning, you guys, so the best way to learn is to experiment and make mistakes. Best way to learn is to make mistakes. So it's okay. You have to get over your fear of perfection. It's okay to make mistakes. I can tell the paper has pilled a little bit. Not much, just not pilled, but you can tell it's stressed. So I don't really want a watercolor anymore. At this point, I'm just gonna use a colored pencil, and I'm using my watercolor pencil as just a colored pencil, which you can do. You could also use markers, but since I'm using the gel pens, I kind of just want to use my watercolor pencil to bring the value up. And even it out a bit. One of the things I learned is I lost sight of the fact that I was basing, and I tried to do shading when I was supposed to be just basing. Because then you come back and shade with your pencils or pens after you base. So a base is just a nice flat wash. Okay, and then we're going to do this one. This is really a very pretty color, this Prussian blue. I like it a lot. It's kind of a grayish blue. Alright, so I may stop there, and then this would be like the middle. And come up here and darken up here. Yeah, that's kind of cool. How there's a variety. So let me zoom you guys out so you can see what I'm seeing. Does that make it feel more rounded? I'm kind of going for the effect of it being lighter in the middle so that it feels more rounded. I wish I had not colored in these darker. Maybe these two. I wish I hadn't colored darker. But it doesn't look bad. And then I think I would do the same thing with the orange. I would bring up the value on the top and bottom to kind of give it some variety. But I think it still has good contrast between this darker value and this, and I don't think I need to watercolor it. I might use a blender to blend it in the pencil a little bit. Let's work on the orange for a little bit. So it's good to just take a minute and step back. Take a look. Sometimes you get so close to your work that you can't even see it. So it's good to take a step back. So let's go ahead and zoom in on this bottom area. And we'll darken in with our orange. It's kind of a red orange. Let's see. Which one was it? That's the other tricky part. Was it this one? Where's our chicken scratch? Is that it? Yeah, I think that's it. Because it's definitely not that one. Yeah, this is it. Okay, we need to sharpen. Let's try not to mess it up this time. Okay. Go ahead and sharpen our pencil. Always want to work with a sharp pencil. Especially in the Joanna Basford books where you've got a lot of detail. There we go. That one is on its way out, which is why I bought a new one. Okay. So what I'm thinking is applying a little more pressure, bring the values up in some areas, in kind of the top and bottom to make it feel more rounded. And maybe I shouldn't have, well, lesson learned, right? Okay, so I'm thinking I shouldn't have made this one dark. I could try to erase this one and this one. I wish I had like a band that was light coming through, but you know, we're learning. It's okay, we're experimenting. All right, so I'm going to do some coloring in to bring up some values. Look at our decisions. I think maybe we come in one more down here. This is probably good. And we can always come back and go darker. We just can't go lighter. So, and I do need to use a blender a little bit. Maybe we just... Yeah, maybe we just do this one. And then this one. And these. I'm gonna try that. Let's go ahead and do that. We'll zoom back in. Alright, so this style of shading is growing on me. I think I could have made a few better choices. Like we talked about, maybe this one could have stayed light. And this one maybe, I'm not sure. We can always come back later after we're done and darken it up. But I think he's coming along. The next thing I want to do is start working on the face. And then the fins, of course. But I think we'll save that for episode 3 of this little guy. If you like the video, please like the video. If you would like to see more content, please subscribe, hit that bell, do all the things, and happy coloring!